This is Lady Maya. I am here with Miss Adonia Dixon. Okay, this woman is very special to me. She is like the mother of all, and I want to be like her all the time. So she is a human resource care person, and she cares so deeply for everyone that she is in connection with. You guys gotta know that she is just such a dear heart, and I'm giving you everything that I have, all the love that I have for her right now, and you will see what I'm talking about. That's all I'm gonna say. Miss Adelia Dixon, say hello.
Hello, Maya. I thank you. Thank you for inviting me to just talk with you today. And I hope one thing that I say might help someone today.
Yes, yes, and I believe that. I know that because you have a big heart. So we have we met in a group called ATS Junior, and she has such a very powerful voice and powerful message, and she is so positive on so many different levels. And I just want you guys to understand that she's just such a caring individual, and like to have just a smidge of that in everybody else, like the world would definitely be a better place. But can you tell us the story about the distilled water, please, if that's okay?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we're, as everyone knows, we're in this pandemic crisis, for lack of a better word, where this COVID-19 is really stressing people out. And I think we have a lot of negative information online, and it's trying to disseminate between what's real and what's not real. It's becoming a little bit challenging. The other evening was the Monday of this prior week. I was on my computer, and you get tons of emails, and I'm just ciphering through some of the email. And I think a lot of people, different communities, they have a neighborhood uh, email platform, and I joined it and don't participate in it, but I saw this email, and the title of the email said it said urgent need for distilled water. And I thought that was a little odd, but I know we're in this time of where toilet paper is not available and other things aren't available. So that particular email, I made the decision to actually open. It happened to be an elderly lady, and her plea was, and mind you, it was about 10 o'clock in the evening that evening. So I'm kind of wrapping things up, and my days are long, and I just take an hour to rest, or just kind of breathe a little bit before I get prepared for bed. And I opened the email, and her email was, she happens to be someone who has sleep apnea and has some type of machine that requires her to use distilled water, and she had none. It's 10 o'clock, stores are closed, and we're in this crisis where water is nowhere near to be found on the countertops. I mean, on the shelves. And so I responded. My heart just said, respond to her. It just so happens I happen to have 2 gallons. Interesting, I had 3 gallons, but at the time I only thought I had 2 gallons of distilled water. So I reached out to her and I said, hey, I have 2 gallons. You're welcome to have them. However, I can bring them to you after work. Now, mind you, after work was going to be the next day, because it was 10 o'clock already that evening. And then about a second after I did that, I said, wait a minute. If she has sleep apnea, tonight, she's going to need to go to sleep tonight. So I I emailed her in a private message, and I said, hey, if this is urgent need, I will be happy to bring them to you tonight. And immediately she responded to me. She sent a message back and said, please, can you call me or can I call you? And she happened to leave her phone number. So naturally, I picked up my phone and I called her and I said, hey, I introduced myself, realized that we're about maybe 6-7 miles away from each other. And we're in the same town. And I said, I would be more than happy to bring you tonight right now. And she kind of, got a little emotional and said, you would do that? Absolutely. You need it now? I can bring it to you now. Now, mind you, I'm thinking, okay, I'm a single woman going out nighttime at 10 o'clock to a stranger's house, maybe not be the smartest thing in the world. I almost tried to talk myself out of it. And then my heart said no, because she's not going to be on Zoom being silly for no reason. In other words, she's not going to just be silly not having that need. And so I said, no, I'm going to take the chance. I'm going to do it. So that's what I did. I put my little flip flops on, jumped in the car, and got to her house. It took me again, literally about 5-6 minutes to get to her home. Then again, I got that voice in my head saying, you don't know these people. You need to be careful. So what I made the decision to do is, before I got out of my car, I called and I said, I just want you to know I'm outside in front of your house. My purpose for doing that is, one, I wanted to see if someone was actually going to emerge from the house. And so I can see the person before making the decision to get out. Immediately, lights came on from the front door. I saw this beautiful woman standing in front of the door, and that made me feel comfortable. I got out my vehicle. I walked towards her. I said, I'm Adonia. I'm the lady that you spoke to, and I'd like to give these 2 bottles to you. And she got very emotional, and she couldn't believe I would do that. Now, did I do it for accolades or whatever? No, I did it because I saw the need. So I handed, and again, we're in this environment of not hugging. I didn't even think about it. I've slowly reached out to her, gripped her just a small bit, hugged her and said, here, take it. And she took it. Then I started to turn around and she said, how much do I owe you? And I told absolutely nothing. She paused for a minute. She opened her hand, and inside her hand was a little small plastic square. And she said, well, can I at least give this to you? When what it was one of those portable grocery bags that you can take it when you put it in your purse and take it with you. And I formed my tongue and said, and I was going to tell her no. And then I realized she allowed me to bless her. And now I was taking away her blessing by telling her no, I didn't need anything from her. That may have been her only way to be able to show me her appreciation. I turned around and said, you know what? That's very thoughtful. Thank you. And I took it. And I'm telling you, I cannot tell you the power of gratitude and blessing and warmth that I felt, having, one, the opportunity to help her, but 2, listening to myself and not walking away and taking away her blessing, and actually allowing her to gift me something as well. I've been talking about it ever since. That's how fabulous that experience was. I'll never forget it.
Wow. See, and it takes just something really special like that to happen, to just kind of get you out of your zone. Because, you know, sometimes there's so much noise, there's so much going on around you, and you forget, you know, people are people regardless of what. You know, let me come out of myself and help someone else. And that's such a powerful message. It really is. And I'm so glad that you gave it to me. I'm like, yes. She's amazing, you guys. I'm telling you. I told you. Oh, can you tell us a little bit about
Maya,
your background?
can I absolutely, but if you don't mind, let me tell you what the lesson is there for me.
Yeah.
Little things go a big way.
Yeah.
You don't have to have millions of dollars. You don't have to do something grandiose. One small gesture of kindness. It could be a smile. It could be holding up a door for someone. It could be maybe finding someone homeless, handing them a bottle of water. Just handing them a bottle of water. I've done that before as well. I cannot tell you how it makes me feel that one little thing that I have done may have given one person extra day to even want to exist anymore in that hour. That hour may be in that one blessing that say, okay, there's hope. And that's why I do it. It may, because maybe I'll never know if that's, but my heart tells me you never know. And there's someone out there that I have inspired just because I did one thing. Do check your neighbors. Go outside and play with kids. It's one little simple gesture of kindness will make this world so much better.
Yes. Yes. If we start really thinking about people as people, and so much out of our headspace, it would be so much better as well. Because, you know, we have so much social media, and the social media shows us everybody's life is so much better than yours. You know, oh, they're on vacation. Oh, they got the babies. Oh, they having parties. They're doing this and they're doing that. And now in your mind, you're taking on the noise, and you're taking it on like headset. You know, so now everything else is just doesn't really feel like much. You've gotten away, so far away from reality, knowing that you're on this planet, but there's other people here too. that would need your assistance, that you may have a lot more energy than somebody else. You can help them. There's this Spanish girl that lives in my complex, and I don't know if I've ever really told anybody this, but I was struggling because I had my cane, and then I had all these shopping bags, and I'm trying to like juggle and everything like that. And she didn't speak a word of English. She grabbed my bag and took them right to my front door. Her two kids were playing in the playground in front of my house, and I'm sitting there like, okay, gracias, gracias. That's all I can really say. I can't say much, but she saw that there was a need and she helped. And that was big because she didn't even know English. So like there's acts of kindness don't even need a language. And that's what I got from that. So I thought it was awesome. Definitely. Definitely. Thank you. Anything else you want to say, dear?
You said it. Love and kindness has no language. Everybody can help somebody. Everybody.
So what is your background? Where are you originally from, Miss Adonia?
Born and raised in Northern California. I'm right in between the city of San Francisco and Sacramento, Napa. And that helps people kind of understand. So we're Northern California. Southern California is for LA and San Diego. I've been born and raised here all my life. I was married to a military man. We did travel a little bit. So I lived in Virginia. He ended up going to Germany. I chose not to go with him. We're no longer married, but we're friends. We probably have a pretty decent relationship under circumstances. So I've been here all my life, and every position or role or job I've had so I had to think about that, has always been something service oriented. Either admin support. I've been receptionist before. I've supported a purchasing agent, and then I really enjoyed the business of human resources. So I got certified. I went back to school, got my degree, and for 14, almost 15 years, I've been in human resources. And it's a support thing. I get to do what I'm gifted to do, and that's to help people. I'm not that person that's going to scream and holler and all about policies and all that stuff. Yeah, we have them. But my whole job is to be a good leader for the executive team that I lead, to help them work with the employees so we can have the best employees we can have, so they're happy and they actually want to come to work. And it's a job doing that because I'm a female in a male dominant industry, construction. I'm HR for a bunch of men, and I don't mean any derogatory about it. We think different, and I have to sometimes be that voice of reason because they're all about the business. Get it done, get it done. If you didn't get it done, you're stupid because you didn't know what you were doing. And I'm like, well, maybe they're not stupid. Maybe they did because they weren't shown, and take the time to show them. So I have challenges on a regular basis. We have dominant men that are all about getting money. And I'm like, but the people that help you get the work and get the money are humans. And they have families and beliefs and challenges and concerns and all that stuff that come to work with them. Everywhere you go, there you are. You got stuff going on at home, you're bringing it with you. So you got to get to know your people in order to know how to work with them and help them through whatever challenges they may have so they can focus and be good employees.
So what made you kind of what drew you more into the HR, the human resources?
What was interesting, I helping people. And I think I've always been that way. My mother's the same. 4'11", little petite. I'm not that much taller. My mother's a tiny little woman, maybe 110 pounds. And it's just, and she saw, it was so interesting that I'm the younger of three because I tended to be sad. My mom was always she would skip her and my brother. We run through parking lots, chasing each other. We ride bikes, we play puzzles. We did all. My mother hung out with us. We partied. We were the house where everybody hung out at. My mom was just, there's all kinds of stuff going on. Good parent, kind as all get out, loving as all get out. And my sister's the opposite. She's my father and boom, and my brother's in the middle. and he had both, he and my father. So to me, that's my dude. So he was the perfect pair because he's a gentleman, he's good to women, and so on and so forth, but he leads too. And so he was the balance. I was the extreme. I cried about everything. Everything made me happy or sad. My sister didn't have very little emotions. My brother is just, he's our balance. And that's my guy. Me and my brother, we are very close, and we don't see each other often because he lives in another state, but we get along quite well. The sister and I clash a little bit, but we're women, and that's probably what happens sometimes. But our personalities are totally different. But I think
Mhm.
that came from my mother.
Right. Oh, wow. That's good though. You know, like when you have that balance and everybody kind of gets along, but you have that median with
It's
your
really, really
mother
nice.
and your father and different things like that. So was that kind of like what they installed in you, just helping and, being open to like giving your heart and just caring for people?
My mother for sure, because she was just the example. She was just the example. She spent
Yeah.
um I mean, really great time with us. She read to it. She just was a very nurturing person. So for me, that's what I was exposed to. My father didn't spend a lot of time with us. My father was working. I saw he was working, 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 and then no emotion. And I don't say that to be derogatory. It took me a long time to even not be afraid of my father because he was intimidating. But as an adult now, my mother and father divorced. I was a kindergarten. I'll never forget it. I was in kindergarten, and I remember my mother had us sit in the living. We had a family meeting, and we sat in the living room. And I remember my sister again. She's kind of the bully, kind of the no emotion person. And I remember her telling me when we sat down, "You better not cry." I remember her saying that distinctively because I'm that person. I'm emotional. And so I knew something wasn't really good. And my mother, again, because she spoke to us children, she treated us like human beings. And she said, Mommy has something to share with you, lady, your kids. And so she did. And of course, the first thing I did was cry because when I understood, when they said, your mommy and dad are getting a divorce, and it was my mother that told us, I thought they were leaving us kids. And I started bawling like a baby. And my sister said, I told you not, so again, it was the dynamic, it was how my mother treated us as children, me specifically, because I think I probably was more high maintenance because of my self-esteem challenges. But mom loved on me. She really took care of me, and I love her to death. She's ill right now, and I think about it, I get a little emotional. But I have a her like no other, and I am my mother's child. I'm the
Yeah.
product of her because she all very ladylike. She's very gentle. She's just a kind soul, and I was blessed with that soul. So, I understand, but it was really interesting for me. My
Right.
mother treated us like human beings, and she
Yes.
really did. She spoke to us
Mhm.
like, I mean, we're kids, but she didn't speak to us
Like kids.
like babies. She spoke to us
Yeah.
very softly, gently, in an adult voice, in language
Right.
that we could understand. And she was
Right.
intentional about everything, and way
Right.
different than her mother and my grandparents because they were old school. Kids were to be seen, not heard. We were not supposed to be in the same room with them. Get out, get out, get out. My mother treated us like human beings, and as long as it wasn't majorly private adult stuff, we were allowed to be around. We were part of just about everything, right? And so
Mhm.
it was a different household, and grandparents kind of didn't have they had an issue with it a little bit because we shouldn't be around them. We shouldn't. Some things kids don't need to be involved in. And my mother was honest, and she spoke to us and told us what she thought
Miss,
we needed to know.
when are we doing this podcast, Miss Lady? When are you doing your podcast? I'm just waiting because I'm gonna be on there. I don't know what you thought.
Okay,
I'm
Maya,
gonna be.
just just put me on the spot.
Why
I
not?
find that quite funny because we are, again,
Yeah.
as you mentioned earlier in the beginning of our conversation, we're both with the same group, and it's the Antonio T. Smith Jr. Um, and it's a great training, motivating, speaking group. And the kindness, this gentleman, just so those that may not know, he's a multimillionaire under the age of 40 and has any all of the things that he's been through gives him all kinds of right to have given up, and he didn't. And
Mm.
he's now with money and wants to make other people learn how to
Yeah.
make money as well. I say that to say I have had coached with him, and he's been concerned about me. He pays attention. He's concerned about me being in California, hearing the news or whatever. And I got a message, and that message was, so when we get in handling business, right? How like what's going on? So I shared with him that you have motivated me to be ready. I started, I even found the music that I wanted. I found some things, some concepts I want to do, but I'm that person that I got to have it all before I start. And you can't do that. Sometimes you
Yeah.
just got to go and let it lead you. And I
Yeah.
understand that. I wanted to have, this is what I told him, I wanted to have 30 days of content so I can just blast it out, because I do work a lot of hours. I mean,
Mhm.
8, 9, 10, 11-hour days, sometimes, especially in the crisis that we're in right now. And yes, my company is still working, and I have issues with, well, there's some challenges with that because some employees don't want to, some do, some can't work from home, some can. Again, we're construction, we work outside. So there's a lot of what do you do kind of conversations that are going on. And I'm just trying to keep the peace and listen to what the employees are saying, and maybe case by case, let people do what's best for them. The company needs to continue because we're in telecommunications. And with so many people at home and using the system, we are not the big business, but support them. So we build and maintain cell towers and so on and so forth. So we've had a lot of trepidation of what to do. My owner, like, no, I want to work. He wants to work for the right reason because he wants to keep people employed. But I said, you have to think of people's emotional state and health state as well. And so we're trying to balance in that. So him and I, which is a little challenge because I report to the owner, totally different personality, like totally. But I said all that to say, at the end of the day, with all that's going on and all that's happening right now, I'm trying to, and it's not hard for me, trying to stay as positive and as patient and as kind as I can be, because this is what we need the most right now. I mean,
Yeah.
we absolutely, and I apologize, I'm getting off track a little bit, but the point of the message is we are in a crisis, and yes, it's serious. However,
Yeah.
I choose, just like you choose, what's best for you. I cannot tell you how to feel, and I cannot tell you what to do. I can share my experience. I can share facts, because that's what I lean on, facts. You watch the television and you get on the social media, there's all kinds of stuff. You don't know left from right. I go to two agencies, the CDC, the Center of Disease Control, and I also go to the WHO, they call it WHO, and it's the I just forgot what, the World Health Organization. Facts. Those are the experts. I don't go into the other stuff, right? So my whole purpose and goal and desire and so forth right now is to stay as positive and as centered as I can be, and as deliberate by staying on focus point. So one of the things, again, that's distracting me is the commitment that I have to get my business going. And one of those pieces of commitment is get this podcast up and running. I have no more excuses now. I have no more trying to be perfect. Knock this perfect crap off. And so it's on its way. It's on its way. I give you my word, and you invited me to join you. And I told this to our, I'll call him boss man from ATS. I told him, you have inspired me, and I'm ready to go, because he had a deadline date for me that I did not make, and I made all kinds of excuses and knowing I was going to get busted for trying to make an excuse. And now I'm ready. So I'm ready. I got to pick my platform, and I think I'm gonna finish that tonight. I haven't figured out where I'm gonna start it at, but it's coming, and you definitely will be invited to be part of
I appreciate that.
it.
So, what idea is it that you want to kind of portray on your podcast?
This is easy. That's an easy question. It's just trying to figure out, because let's talk about relationships. Oh my God, relationships. Isn't that harassment, right? We're not going to talk about that. But I'm a leadership. I love leadership development. I hate seeing bad bosses and bossy bosses. And I love seeing bosses that care enough to help their employees and do the right thing, and not as people, not just as workers, as human beings. So my podcast is all about connecting, not just talking at people, not just, and listening is important, but the connection, connecting with, I don't care what role you have, whether you're a parent, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a congressperson or a owner of a company, whether you are a manager or leader. Every single person, when it's at the end of the day, as being a human being, it's all about our relationships. So being connecting and communicating correctly and listening to people and with not just your mind but your heart, that's my purpose. And I want more people to want to do that, and if they don't know how, I want to show them how. I connect several different organizations. I am a certified John Maxwell trainer and coach. Love him to death. That was one of the leadership gurus of the world. And Les Brown, of course, is another person certified with Les Brown as well. Same thing, motivating, inspire. My connection too. I want to motivate, inspire people to connect with each other so our relationships can be better. And regardless of what the relationship is, with the spin in leadership. In other words, leadership is a focus, but this is across the board. Because if you're a good person, you can be a good whatever role you have. Just being a good person. That's my podcast. It's about being good, doing right. Words matter, treating people with respect and integrity and honesty. It's not difficult if you have a couple of tips on how to do that. We got to be more thoughtful in being human. It's about the humanness of being a human.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes. You know what? I feel like it would be such a great way for you to train the people that are already leaders, and then to train those that are becoming leaders. And yours is you should just be Leadership International. Just do it. Just do it, because like you have just that spirit. But no, you have that spirit, and you have so much.
You know. Yeah, but you know, when you say that, you gotta kind of know kind of who you want to target, which I don't like being put in that box, because I like, similar to the conversation you and I had, I want to reach everybody that I can reach regardless. But my target really is what we call in HR world, we call the emerging leader. That's that person that wants to, what's the next level for me? Where can I go next? And they want to be managers. We don't train them. We like, oh, you're great as an employee. Okay, you want a job? Okay, now you're gonna be the supervisor. And now it's a whole different dynamic dealing with people and personalities and feelings and emotions and so on and so forth. So that's the group out, because one, I think they're hungry for listen, and two, if you start early, they won't get that bad habit of being a bad boss. Because here in California, you know, salaries are decent. You make good money, and people drive all those fancy cars and all that crap. That goes along with the financial part being in management, but your humanity part is still calls into question if that's all you care about. I got the business card now. I get to buy the new car and the watch and the bling and all that stuff. Cosmetic, and I call BS on that. Good to have it if that's what you want to do, but your job does not look like a leader. Your job is to care about the people that are in your responsibility. And when I say care, it's not just work care. It's human. They're humans.
Yes.
Everybody got stuff going on. If they're not the ones that's going on, they know somebody that is. Whether it's health, whether it's challenging children, maybe somebody on drugs, maybe you're abused. There's all kinds of stuff that happens when people walk out the door from the office. You know what a person going through. You don't know stuff of maybe being evicted because they can't pay their rent or their mortgage. You don't know have mental challenges or what have you, or people that got ADD and attention deficit and all these in real life. They're human beings. So we're leaders of human beings that actually do a job for us. And that's where our focus is. They're not just employees, they're people. And that's my message. Connect with your people.
Yes. And you know what? Even with leadership doesn't also have to be just the name or the title, because you can be a leader in your own right with your own life. If you can lead your own life, you're a leader. You're doing and you're taking the reins to do better, to get better, to be, just to find ways and nuggets along the way to get yourself to a better situation. So definitely, I understand completely.
Think about this.
Mhm.
Think about this. A kid, a child, a 10-year-old could be a leader because they are. You have your friends, you're hanging out in a group, you're playing ball or whatever, and you see something that's not right. A 10-year-old can call that out, but they have to be given the training and be given the confidence and develop the confidence to be able to say right is right
Yes,
and wrong is wrong. So anybody can be. So a leader is a title, but a leader to me is more about the human,
exactly.
the person, the body, the
Mhm.
physical. And so anybody, baseball teams, I don't care, soccer teams, again, kids outside playing, there's always that one kid that stands maybe out a little bit because maybe they have a little bit more confidence. That's a leader. You're playing out in the street and cars are coming. Hey, you guys, you know what? We need to get out. That's leading. That's taking responsibility for the care of other people. So all of us, and I get passionate. You look at me, I'm all okay, breathe. I get all loud and crazy because
I
I'm
love
so, that's my jam. That is just what I do, and I love it, and I don't have to think about it. It's
Yes.
just who I am. That's why I want to do it, and
Yes.
I want to continue.
And I can't wait. I want to be like super fan here. Okay. Go on. You got it, Azealia. Okay, so we got that. We got that out of the way. So, like, I see that you have such a big heart, and there's so much that you actually want to do to help people with their own lives. Is there possibly like a goal that you want to reach? Like how when you have your future board or your whiteboard or whatever, is there anything up there that just kind of stands out and just like, I want that?
I have my goals in two parts, and it's clear that I know what the end part is. Getting there in the direction of it, may not be as clear. And it's two parts. I want to be a consultant. I want to go in corporations and I want to help develop and train their leaders. That would be just that would just be a really fun adventure for me. But the benefit of doing that, and which is the real reason, is I want to make better people. I want to help be that person that helps that one or two or three or four persons or people that may think a little bit different because something I said, and I came in their lives and their life is a little bit better, because that happened for me. People came in my life at the right time because I had some stinking thinking. Everything was negative. I was a victim. I should have just wore a V on my shirt. Victim, victim, victim. Nobody loves me. I've been in relationships where people weren't faithful. Just victim, 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 victim. I was always a victim. Poor me, poor me, poor me. And very depressed and challenged. And I came from a fabulous mother and family. So why not that? Don't know, but I did. And so I truly believe, because I came out of a dark place. I came out of a dark, dark place, that I could be that light for people. Even if it's one person, I've done my job. That could be that light, because someone was a light for me and they saw the good in me. And my mother always, she never was negative, always said, "You're good enough, and still my inside told me different. I was around a positive home environment, and still I believed different. It was my peers and being with people and the kids that teased me and called me out my name. I believe they were more right than my own parent, who told me I wasn't enough and pretty enough and all the things that I thought not true of me, and lived that way for a good portion of my life. I mean, literally a good portion of my life. I was down and depressed and because I believed what I heard people say about me. And it was small little bits of people that may tell me different that finally started helping. But you really know what took me out of my dark? I had to think different. I could not continue thinking the same way and be a different person. And it was books, and I'm writing a book. How books saved my life. Because, man, if it wasn't those books and the positive people like the Les Browns of the world and the Lisa Knowles and the Jack Canfields and all these motivating, inspiring people, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. If it wasn't for those people and me paying more attention to that than all this other stuff, I don't know where I would be. I have no idea where I would be. So those are my goals. I want to teach leadership, but I want to be a light for others. And I don't know, and maybe we'll never know who I have impacted, but my heart will know, and that's my goal.
Yes, ma'am. I don't see how you haven't already changed somebody. Like, I don't see by no means that, anyone getting to know you, if they knew just how your spirit just kind of just is a blanket. It's a blanket. It's very soft. It's very comforting blanket that you give just verbally. And it's just amazing. Like, you just feel so loved in everything. And even I'm pretty sure your hugs are amazing too. I'll get one later. But I do see that everything that you are, you're so true to yourself. You're true to everyone else, and that speaks volumes. It speaks absolute volumes, and I'm just so honored just to be in the midst, ma'am. But if there's anything you want to tell or you want to say to everyone that is listening under the sound of your voice,
just love on others. It doesn't take much to be kind. Kindness is just a way of being. It's sometimes you gotta think about saying please, you casting some reaching. You see someone reaching for far from them, push it closer to them. It's the little things, and the more times you do that, the more opportunities you will actually start seeing, and you'll do more for you. It's gonna come back to you 10 times fold. Promise you. Because as you do for others, you are opening a door for people to do for you and receive it when they try to. Do not be so humble that they know and you take away somebody else's blessing. I will never forget the lesson I learned this past week when I almost walked away and told this no, when that was the one thing she probably felt she could have done to thank me for doing what I thought was a very small gesture. She needed the water. I had the water. Don't take away someone's blessing and be a blessing. It's not hard to do. It's kindness. Kindness is free. It don't cost nothing to be kind. That's my final message. There's nothing I could say that can top that. Be kind to others. Just be nice.
I got goosebumps. Okay, so Miss Adonia. Okay, so you guys, please like, share, subscribe this video. I'm telling you, we all need a little help. I really, really ask you, please subscribe. Please comment. If there's anything you want me to ask Miss Adonia, I will definitely ask her. And if I can get her on her schedule, because her schedule is crazy. But if I can get her on her schedule to answer those questions, I will certainly do so. If I got the camp out, I will do it. But you guys know that she is a very kind individual. And this is why I'm so, so, so madly in love with her attitude, her positivity, and everything that goes on. Her aura is immaculate. It's very, very, very great. And so I'm going to do what I can. I'm thanking everyone so much. Please just show a little kindness. It like she said, it does not cost a thing. Just thinking of somebody or doing something else, you never know. That stuff comes back. The bad stuff definitely comes back, but the good stuff does too. The world is round for a reason, and I tell everybody this. The world is round for a reason. Whatever you put into the world has to come back. So, depending on how you did it and why you did it is going to determine the fact of the momentum that it will come. So you guys, I just love and appreciate everybody's time and just my time with Miss Adonia, Miss Dixon. She's the best. I'm going to put some of her information in the description below. And I thank you so much for living your best life with Lady Maya.